Hello, industrial chemists. My name is Brittany Dong, and today I will be talking about biodegradable medication. Let's do an introduction to biodegradable medication. A big problem posed by the pharmaceutical industry, or as conspiracy theorists such as Alex Jones would call it, Big Pharma, pharmaceutical drugs remain unreacted in the body, trace amounts of it actually. So these trace amounts of unreacted drugs are excreted into the environment and they pollute the ecosystems through our water system, and this poses a danger to life in nature, especially for aquatic organisms. So today I will be talking about the development of biodegradable drugs, the manufacturing methods, the costs, and the environmental effects. Now, what is biodegradation? Something that is biodegradable is capable of being decomposed by an organism. Composition of biodegradable drugs is polymers. Actually, the whole idea of something that's biodegradable, it is revolved around polymer chemistry. Biodegradable drug delivery methods are very popular, such as hydrogels, which is digested in our body, which releases the drugs, and also there's gliadel, which is a device that is implanted into the brain, and over time it breaks down and releases an anti-cancer drug. Let's talk about polymer chemistry. A polymer is a large molecular structure. It's composed of repeating units of organic groups, and one of the most popular polymers that we all know is DNA. And as you can see in this example of a polymer, there is just repeating units of the same organic group. Polymers are able to be broken down into smaller units through hydrolysis, which is a mechanism by which water is split. Organisms that would be able to consume this polymer and the material, this would release biomass, water, and carbon dioxide, or in an anaerobic environment, methane instead of carbon dioxide. So let's talk about the pharmaceutical applications of polymers. So these biodegradable polymers can be synthetic, it can be polyorthoesters, polyanhydrides for some examples, and there's also natural examples of polymers such as gelatin. These are all used in drug manufacture. So biodegradable drug delivery. The concept of biodegradable drug delivery is just putting something into your body that will then break apart and release the drug. They can be composed of polylactic acid, polysiloxane for a few examples, and these applications, as I've described, it can be an example such as gliadel, intraocular implants that go into your eyes, subcutaneous implants that go under your skin, and intravaginal implants. This is especially useful for women who deal with hormone issues. And I will then talk about the manufacturing of these biodegradable drug delivery methods. There are three key methods to manufacturing these. One is hot melt extrusion, which is applying heat and pressure to melt a polymer to yield the product. There's also injection molding, which, given by its obvious name, you're just injecting molten polymer into molds. And as the smart humans that we are, we have invented 3D printing. So let's talk about green pharmacy, the environment, and big pharma, as Alex Jones would call it. Trace amounts of pharmaceutical drugs pass through the body unreacted, as I have talked about, and they end up being excreted to polluting the environment. And as a startling fact, trace amount of drugs has been found as far up as the Arctic. A big reason as to why there's so many drugs in the environment is that the US is actually a highly medicated country. Here you will see a chart of the most common prescription drugs in the US, and you can see that they happen to be, a lot of them are psychiatric drugs such as insomnia and for painkillers. There's also a lot of drugs related to high blood pressure, to diabetes, and to high cholesterol, probably because of the food that we eat here. It's not the healthiest. And another big problem in the environment is actually the illegal production of drugs on the fun side. It's actually a global market, such as opiates and cocaine. So a very popular example would be Pablo Escobar in Colombia. He is the king of the cocaine production in Colombia, and over 2 million acres of forest have been destroyed as a result of the legal farming of coca, which is a plant that they use to extract cocaine. A possible solution to this would be to destroy coca plants and opium plants, but why isn't this effective? It's because we do not want to destroy the nature. You should let the plants grow wherever they grow. So, a possible solution to the problem of drug contamination in the environment is to develop environmentally benign drugs. However, there's possible drawbacks, such as higher production costs, decreased drug efficacy, because you would be changing the chemistry of the drug. Another possible solution would be to tighten FDA regulations, especially on environmental tests, but again, that would also come with a higher production costs. Another great solution would to be reduce the number of prescriptions, which in turn would mean that we would have to, as a society, improve our living standards and our lifestyle so that we won't have to take so many drugs in the first place. And I think the best solution would actually just to be educate on better ways to dispose of drugs rather than flushing them down the toilet. So in conclusion, I have talked about biodegradable drugs as a solution to the problem of drug contamination in the environment. These biodegradable drugs can be metabolized by other organisms. Another possible solution is that all of these things, they cannot just happen in one country. It actually comes to the fact that the US, along with all other countries, we should work together to just protect public health and the environment.